Gypsy Man. I know it's been a while since I made a video, but today we're going to be talking about my final thoughts on the modifications that I made to my Staccato P. And while we do that, we're going to do a little bit of cleaning. But today I went to the range today, and we're just going to just chat real quick. We're not going to get all into anything more than just, you know, little tabletop and final thoughts on my thoughts about the Staccato P, and shot a little bit of Glock, but mainly been focusing on the Staccato. So today I got a chance after the modification, after being my own armor and going to the range, after installing the extended slide release, which I say was absolutely necessary for the way that I handle firearms. I don't care if it's my Glock, I don't care if it's my 2011. I want my guns to feel familiar to the way I handle my firearms. I don't care. My grip doesn't change because I'm a Glock shooter coming to a new platform, and my grip's not going to change for the Staccato. I don't think I should compromise anything to shoot a gun, because you should be able to shoot a gun the same way for all your platforms. So you just be familiar and be proficient with them. And I'm very proficient with my Glocks, and now I'm very proficient with my Staccato P because it feels the way I like my guns to feel. And it just so happens that I like them to feel similar to my Glock. So I went on a mission. I went on a mission to make my Staccato P feel similar to my Glock. And I accomplished that. And I accomplished that really with some ease and just a little bit of know-how and a little bit of time and patience and just really thinking it out on how I was going to accomplish that. So as you know, if you watch my videos, that I'm a Glock shooter. Been shooting Glocks for over 20 years professionally and in competition. And that's the way I like my guns to feel. I like the angle, I like everything. Before I bought this gun, I went to the dealers and I felt the gun, and it felt similar in the hand to my Glock. So I said, okay, let's try this platform out. I've been hearing a lot about it. Why not? Let's try it out. So that's exactly what I did. But to be honest with you, I spent the money and I was a bit disappointed in the way things truly felt in hand once you really start working these tools. The 2011 tool is a different platform, yes, but it doesn't have to feel different than any other platform that you'll be using due to the angle being similar to the Glock, and which is the main reason why I finally decided to pull the trigger on it. So I had people tell me that, oh, stop trying to do this, stop trying to do that. It's not a Glock. It's a totally different platform. It's gonna feel like this. You don't need to change this. You don't need to change that. And I'm calling bullshit on that because, well, the main reason is my gun. I could do whatever the hell I want to with it, and it's my gun, and it needs to feel like the rest of my guns. And there's no reason why you can't make this 2011 feel like my Glock, if I'm a Glock shooter, and function the way a Glock will with the controls. And they make stuff to make that happen. So why not invest a little bit more money into getting it to feel the way I feel comfortable shooting? So that's what I did. And guess what? I did it. And the reason I did it was because I'm not stupid and I understand mechanics, engineering, and I knew it could be done, because when it comes down to it, really, guns, just like any other mechanical thing, are just nuts and bolts. Now, I will say that the 2011 platform is a lot more finicky. The tolerances are tighter in this gun than they are for my Glock. But with that said, and also thinking about that, the reason I've been saying in my other videos that I don't consider this 2011 to be a combat weapon. It's because the tolerances are so tight. And I think the combat 1911s back in the day probably had a little bit of wiggle room when it came to the tolerances, because if you getting that grime and dirt and use in there, you need it to be a little bit looser so it could be more reliable. It's not like the Staccato XCs, where it's definitely out of the box not a combat weapon, because the recoil spring is way too light, and you have to change it out to something that feels more like the spring on the P, which is probably 11 pound spring, and you got a 7 pound spring, which is good for competition and things like that. But I want to be able to shoot every load when I need to, and I will be competing with this gun, so I need it to be reliable. So, you know, for those reasons, I didn't consider it a combat gun. And for those reasons, still to this day, I don't consider this a combat gun, because my gun is engineered beautiful. It's tight. Everything's tight on it, man. You could hardly blow air through it. And I'm just saying that just to say it. I'm not meaning it literal for you people who are going to be very literal about everything that I say. But my gun is tight, the tolerance is tight, I don't got any type of shake in it. And I like that about it. And I like the way it shoots. So anyway, I go to the range today after doing these modifications and that, doing a little bit of smithing myself, a little bit of grinding, a little bit of time, a whole lot of sanding, and a lot of patience. And it performed exactly the way it tested during my dry fire, and also my assembly after I finished doing the modifications to it. So I'm very happy about that. It's doing exactly what I wanted to do. I had no misfires still. So it is still, in my opinion, for what I'm using it for, is a very reliable gun. I won't carry this gun. This will be just something I take on into competition, and something that I would take to the range. And it ain't just for show. You know, if I pull this out, it's about business. Can I take care of business the same way with my Glocks? Absolutely. But it's whatever the whatever the taste of the day is going to be for that day. So me personally, I feel very good using this in any situation when it comes to competition and taking it to the range. Today was a very good range session, and I was very proud of it. It did everything it needed to do. I got the lockup was really good after doing my first Smith job on the slide release. So it didn't fail me, and I was very happy about that. Then we started doing some drills. We started doing drills in time, put a little pressure under there. It did great, as expected. It ate up all the rounds and all the different brand ammunitions that I brought with me, munitions, and you know, I can't be happier about this now. And I'm not gonna lie to you, when I first bought it, I was a little bit upset at you know, just the placement of things on the gun, because I never really got a good feel for the gun before I bought the gun. So now that I have a great feel for it and have it set up the way I like to have it set up, I'm very happy. I'll be using this gun primarily, probably can easily take out my Glock and switch with my Glock whenever I need to, because I have them feeling probably identical now in my hand. As I said before, the safeties are not an issue for me. The grip safety, nor the thumb safety is an issue. The thumb safety is easily defeated quickly as you're coming out of the holster. The grip safety is a non-factor. I don't know if it has something to do with just the familiarity of, you know, being a Glock user, transitioning to the Staccato 2011 platform, but that was flawless. I'm very happy about that. Now the DLC coating, if you're comparing this to the DLC coating on the Glocks, I will say that the DLC coating on the Staccato is better, especially noticeably on the barrel than the Glock. On the slide, it's just as good. It has a little bit of wear from the holster, but it's still very good. But the Glock's slide DLC can pretty much hold up to this one, but this one is probably a step ahead of that. So that's all I'm going to say about that. That's just from my observations of looking at the wear patterns. So they did a great job with my Staccato. I'm sure there's differences with everybody's Staccato. There could be some differences. So I'm not going to comment and say in general that all of them are going to feel like mine, but mine is on point. So I can't complain with anything. Also, what I've noticed is the Staccato is, I don't know if it's due to the tolerances, but the tolerances may have something to do with it, but cleaning the Staccato is actually easier than cleaning my Glock. It seems to trap less of the residue, and more than likely it's due to how tight the tolerances are. But I enjoy that about this gun. As I continue to clean up after today's range session, I still say, like just now when I transition to the next gun to be clean and it's clear, the feel of me going between the two, I didn't hardly feel a difference at all. So I'm going to say in conclusion to most of the series that I've been doing, that the Staccato, my Staccato, feels just as good as my Glock after making the changes to it, the extended slide release and changing the spring weight in the mag release. So I just wanted to let you know about that, and we're just going to continue to just keep working with the platform, and I love it. I love it. I love both. I can't say that one's better than the other. I just know that they're both tools, and both of them are going to be used differently for different functions. So I will leave it at that. I think that most people probably have both platforms, and I'm sure that everybody enjoys it. Will I be buying another Staccato? No, I'll never buy another Staccato. I don't need another Staccato. To be honest with you, I don't really need another gun, because I have all the sizes I need in the Glock. I'll probably wait to the, if they come out with a Gen 6, I may entertain that. But until that magical day happens, this is what it's going to be. And that's all I really want to talk about when it comes to that. And I was just triggered a little bit by some people insinuating that I shouldn't do certain things to my guns, when in fact, like I said earlier, I could do whatever the hell I want to my guns. And you know, if people want to put it to the test, you know, if you're ever in the DMV area, we could definitely get together and shoot, and we can compare the differences I've made in all my videos series about the readiness, how fast you can get a Glock ready compared to a Staccato anytime. But now my Staccato is just as fast as my Glocks. So it's going to come down to apples and oranges, really, you know, in preference. So, Gypsy Man, and until the next video, we'll probably be shooting some bigger things later on. We'll see about that, but until then, Gypsy Man, I'm out.